Good TV and movies stick with us because they help us understand the world around us, and fictional portrayals of politics and democracy are no exception. How do shows like West Wing, Veep, and Parks and Recreation shape Americans' perceptions of the real thing? In this installment of Project Democracy, we asked UVA Media Studies professor and political scientist Bruce Williams to break down the political messages sent by clips from each show. Political drama West Wing ran from 1999 to 2006 and followed Democratic President Jed Bartlet and his staff. This scene, aired in November 2003, shows Bartlet walking to the Capitol for an impromptu meeting with the Speaker of the House to end a government shutdown.
Yeah.
You there yet?
We stopped to address a group of tourists.
The president's talking to tourists?
The bus says Kansas, Blue Jays, Jayhawks, whatever the hell you call them.
You wait another 30 seconds, he'll also be addressing NBC, ABC, and CNN.
Yeah?
Thanks to you, they're going to interrupt days of our lives.
Thanks.
President Bartlet, he is sincere. He's not naive. Politics is about power. And what I liked about the clip is it understood that media is one of the ways that politicians communicate with other politicians.
Yeah. The Capitol's just a 5 or 10 minute walk from here. Care to stretch your legs? I'm sorry, folks. I've got a meeting on the Hill.
You go get him, Mr. President.
You bet. Randy.
Sir.
What do you say we walk the rest of the way?
Yes.
I think there's something very kind of realistic about the calculations and the way people in the administration think about these things. But you came away from that, I think, thinking, well, yeah, I mean, this is how things work, and this is maybe how things should work. I think that it took a generous view of people in power. And by generous, I'm not criticizing. I think that's a good perspective to have on political institutions in a democratic society.
Veep, which ran from 2012 to 2019, gives a more cynical look at what it takes to stay in power in Washington through the eyes of Vice President Selina Meyer and her staff. This scene, aired in April 2014, shows Meyer struggling to decide her public stance on abortion.
I'm gonna need a bigger melon.
Dan was right. I gotta pick a number. Okay, well, obviously we can just go anywhere now without going over 40.
Half weeks, 22 and a half weeks.
22 and a half weeks sounds like an erotic thriller. What about days?
Yes. Like 140 days, which is in weeks.
Divide by 7, Mike.
2, 20.
Yeah.
Well, I can't stick to 24 weeks now because that's gonna make me the most liberal and the most female.
That clip is a perfect contrast with West Wing. Because in West Wing, what is the motivation for President Bartlet and his administration? His motivation is to get his policies enacted. How am I going to do the things that I was elected to do? And I'm not saying, oh, you know, the rubes out there, they're going to follow this because they don't really understand. No, he genuinely and sincerely believed in the policies he was advocating, and that's how he proceeded. Selina Meyer, over the arc of this series, is nothing like that. And this idea that around this issue of abortion, which is, I mean, how much more central to especially women politicians is something like this. And yet there she was. Did anyone else have 22 weeks? No one else had. Oh, you know, and it's all about what I can feed the public that is going to help me, but not tie me down too much, because I need to see what the blowback is going to be from this. Now that is an entirely cynical view of the political world.
Parks and Recreation, which ran from 2009 to 2015, brought a typical workplace sitcom approach to a local government office in small-town Indiana. This scene, aired in May 2010, shows Ron Swanson, head of the department, sharing his views on government.
Once a year, every branch of this government meets in a room and announces what they intend to waste taxpayer money on. It's philosophically horrifying.
They're here to slash and burn.
Well, I'd be fine with that. This government is diseased. It's like a big, fat, angry slob spending money it doesn't have on crap it doesn't need. Me want more pointless social programs. Yummy, yummy, yum.
That's what government does, Ron.
Ron Swanson, his perspective, what's important about it is that he is clearly articulating a view of government that lots of people share.
I have a joke for you.
Okay.
The government in this town is excellent and uses your tax dollars efficiently.
And Leslie is this idealistic, she's got the pictures of Hillary and all of this stuff. But they engage in civil, sympathetic disagreements. It's not like they remain these caricatures at opposite ends. Parks and Rec, like you're saying, I think it maintains both a belief in government, a skepticism about government, but moves it out of Washington. Even West Wing now, because we view it differently, I don't think that is a particularly effective message now. And I think Veep just leads you to say, if you go to Washington, there's something morally wrong with you. Or if there wasn't when you went there, there will be after you're there. But Parks and Rec, it's about the local. That's where, you can just go out and volunteer for things. And it also has this tremendous spirit of the local, the community. And I think that, oddly enough, I would say that's the one that has the most suggestions for really how to avoid the worst parts of politics.